Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the D.B.A.B Podcast. It's your boy Kurt, and I'm here with the other boys, Cletus, Adam, Coblet, and Jack. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us a listen. This is our first official episode. Last week was our pilot episode, so trying to get through all the nooks and crannies, if we will, trying to get this podcast up and running. So please bear with us. It's not going to be perfect right now. We're learning to walk in this podcasting world, but every time we come to the plate, right, Cobbs? We're going to get better and better and better at this. We promise we're going to work hard because this is something that we really like and really enjoy, and this is something we have pride and passion in doing. So please bear with us. Hope you enjoy the show tonight. Come hang out with us, enjoy our stories, conversations, debates, and arguments. And most of all, right? Don't be a bitch. All right. Welcome to the DBA Podcast. Like I said, it's your boy Curtin, right? Real quick, right off the jump, where you can find our podcast, right? We got a Twitter account, right, at DBAB_podcast. We also got our YouTube channel. Just look up DAB Podcast. And you can also find us anywhere you get your podcast. Please go out there, listen to us, download our episodes. Give us all that love and support. We greatly appreciate it. Like I said, the boys are here. So, boys, say what's
Click
up.
that like button.
Yes. Click that like button, baby. Yes.
Retweet, follow, or follow you
Retweet,
back.
follow, like, download.
Give us money.
In charts. Give us money. We're looking
Give
for
us
sponsors.
money.
We're looking for sponsors, right? So
Give us
hit
money.
us up, baby. Anybody can sponsor us, right? Also be looking for
we can be
future
bought.
in the future. Be looking for some merch coming your way, some shirts, some hats, anything like that. But don't expect it anytime soon. Maybe next year's Christmas gift or anything like that. Now, to begin today, right? We're in our intro, and I've totally forgot to put this at the beginning, but anyway, we got our intro, right? So there goes our intro. But now the next little mini segment we're gonna hop into. This is from our boy Jack. He's the one that kind of brought it to our attention, right? But it's called, and what the thing is, it's called "Be the Light," right? And basically, what "Be the Light" means is basically be a good person. I get that right, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's actually ever since he's kind of brought that into our life, it's been a really good thing to kind of help inspire us to kind of change our mindset, but also to inspire others to do the right thing, because it's so easy in this world to be negative and be mean and all this kind of stuff, and it's a lot harder to be a good person. But so as we begin this little mini segment, right? Is there anybody that has had or has done something this week that would be considered, a be the light moment? So basically doing something good, right? So if you got something, speak. If not, forever hold your peace, big dogs.
I haven't quit my job today. I don't know. Not really, man. Not this week.
Hey, that could be the light.
This week's
Not
been-
quitting your job.
Yeah.
Not throat
Yeah,
punching.
I haven't drop kicked anyone this week, so
There you
That's a
go.
lie.
That's a good
That's
one.
a lie.
That's a good one. Adam?
I mean, I went and helped the delivery team today because the item was too heavy,
Hey, there you go. You're being a
and I
light.
delighted a customer.
There you go. You're doing something good in the community, baby.
get your couch.
Get your
Fuck your
Get
couch.
your
Cobbs,
your
what about
couch.
you? What about you, big dog? Cobbs, you got anything good this week that you've done so far? I know it's kind of halfway through the week, but
Yeah, it's kind of halfway through the week. I didn't do it this week, but I got the, pictures or whatever that we did back in Christmas. The baseball team, we did a toy drive for all the children and families down in Uvalde after all, the school shooting and the whole thing that happened. So, like I said, it wasn't this week, but I got the pictures this week. With our hats, all the did it and all the toys that were bought for the kids. Like he said, we helped out 600 families in Uvalde. So.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's what truly being the light means right there, baby. Okay. And last but not least, Jack, what was your be the light moment this week?
be the light moment would probably be put me on the spot like that. I would say watching those eight kids of ours today that got the sign to go play for the next level. I know I didn't do a lot of it, but I know a little bit of it. I helped improve and make them better players and men for them to go play the next level. So I would say the be the light moment would just telling them I'm proud of them, loving on them, and a be the light moment would probably be the fact that those 4 big boys that signed today all called my wife Mama G. That kind of puts a smile on your heart when you hear that they love her just as much as you do.
Absolutely. It also
It
goes to
brightens
show
your
how much
day
of
for
an
sure.
Yeah, it also goes to show how much of an influence that y'all had on those young kids and what y'all were able to do for them, opening y'all's home and hearts into them. That's awesome, man. That's great stuff. I guess for me, my be the light moment this week would be we took team pictures a couple weeks ago. We did individual pictures because we're gonna do like the little posters that you hang up around the fence at the school for all the whole team. And we got some guys on our team that financially um, probably couldn't do it or whatever. So we had myself and a couple parents step up and pay for them so everybody had a banner or a poster up on the fence so there's nobody left out or whatnot. So little things, but hopefully they go a long way for the kids to appreciate them and stuff like that. But anyways, it doesn't matter what.
It's
We
awesome.
can always be that one person
yeah.
to do the right thing and be the light for somebody else because you never know when somebody is going to need some light in their life, right? It's just like because I know Jack, his favorite Martin Luther King quote, right, is that darkness cannot
Yeah.
drive out darkness, only light can. Hate cannot
Yep.
drive out hate, only love can, right? So one of the greatest quotes. So Jack, again, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. All right, now switching gears to the next segment here, and basically what this is we're just looking for some updates of the week. So like I said, 4 out of the 5 of us, so 80% of us were all coaches plus our one logistic guy, which he's probably just going to tell us some more logistic stuff. But anyway, just
He'll
a
move the
quick
couch.
recap. Yeah, moving the couch, right? Real heavy couch or
He helped
whatever.
the couch today. Come on.
But again, like I said, we're all coaching. We're all in season right now with our respective sports. So just getting a little brief update on what we're doing. But Cubs, how is those Tiger baseball players looking like right now?
Oh man, we got our first scrimmage in yesterday, or on Monday actually. We were supposed to scrimmage yesterday against good old Maybank, down the road about an hour from us. But with the weather, impacting, we got a bunch of rain and everything, so we moved our scrimmage to Monday. So it was, a blessing that we got to move it, and the school helped us out and get all the buses ready and everything on a late notice. I mean, they had like 2 hours to get everything set up, so it was a pretty hectic day. But it was good for us. We finally got to go practice against somebody else and actually get on a baseball field. We started baseball 3 weeks ago, and we've practiced on the field 3 times because of the
Mm.
weather. So it's been wild. But we saw some good things out there. Some rust for sure. Just from knockbacks and being on field, but we definitely saw some good things, some good pitching from us. We saw that. A couple kids that I didn't think would be able to pitch, but definitely came out and surprised me big time. So it's going to be exciting to see what they do. But then the biggest hurt was one of our seniors losing school, and I had to get on to him, whatever, and he ended up punching the dugout, and now, we just found out he broke his hand. So, we're waiting to see if he's got to have surgery or not. And, it hurt us pretty bad because, he was our number 2 pitcher. So,
Mm.
and, I feel bad for the kid. It's a senior year, and who knows if he's going to even get to play now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, quick question. Is there any rule for putting like a punching bag in a dugout? Because it always seems like freaking baseball players want to punch something that doesn't move.
I agree. That's a good question. Like the worst part, I told the team already, the worst part is it was, he punched it from getting mad at a scrimmage, a game that didn't matter. I mean,
Right.
that's the worst part. But, it is
God.
what it is. You live and you learn, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think the punching bag is a great idea though.
it's a good idea, though. I might look into that. I ain't gonna lie.
It's a great
Or
idea.
bring something because it always seems like they want to punch something when they enter the dugout because they get ticked off about something.
Yeah,
And that's the first instinct for kids is to punch a wall.
Yep.
Well,
I
the
always
wall
say,
doesn't move.
yeah. I always say, like, we have kids like that. Just mental aspect of it. They got one batter to get rid of. To scream, do whatever they want. They got one batter to pout about it, and then they better be reset, ready to go.
Yes, sir. So y'all have another scrimmage coming up soon, or
Yeah,
y'all
we do
about to?
actually. We have our next scrimmage on Friday. I
Okay.
don't know what is that, the 10th. Coming up, we'll be playing the old Sunnyvale Raiders right down the road. They got
Alright.
turf, so hopefully we'll be able to get that in and hopefully have a good scrimmage.
All right, all right. And when does y'all's season like officially kick off to where the games like
Our
aren't
first
scrimmages
official
no more?
game is February 20th at old
All
Ben
right,
Gill Park in Terrell, Texas at
all right,
7 o'clock.
all right, baby. Terrell Tigers officially
getting that win
Starting
call
in
for the
February.
first time of the
That's
season.
good.
You know?
Perfect. All right, next switching over to Jack and Clete because they're both in powerlifting season right now. Clete, earlier you said that not much has gone on since last week, but if you can recap us on y'all's last meet and then kind of give us an insight into what your next meet, what you're looking for in your next meet.
Well, we had the week before last. We had two beats that week. So we had one on Thursday with a lot of our young rookie lifters, and so they gotta go out. They gotta compete. Then we traveled to Big Spring that Saturday with a lot of our veteran lifters. And so again, same thing. Got to compete. Had two girls actually hit the regional qualifying total, so they've already automatically signed their ticket to regionals, which is
Awesome.
freaking awesome.
Absolutely.
Talk about
We got one of our girls. She's sitting second right now in the state by about 10 pounds. So
Okay.
she has a great opportunity to go compete if she does well at regionals and going. This week is our home meet, so it's I'm probably not going to get very much sleep this week because there's a lot of like logistical stuff when you put on a powerlifting meet. You know, I I say yeah, I say it's
Welcome.
almost like running a track meet. You need almost that many people for it to run smoothly,
Right.
and
Okay.
so we get that Saturday, and so that'll be a home meet. So just like I said, guys, it'll be freaking a pain. It's going to be not much sleep on my end this week until Saturday is over.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But I'm sure your kids are all excited about that
Oh
and
yeah,
being able to go out there and compete again and throw up
yeah,
some more big boy weight or big girl weight in any case.
oh yeah.
But that's good. Good for those Zona Lions. So wishing you all the best and all the success there. Jack, what about those Terrell Tigers? How did they do in y'all's previous meet, and when's y'all's next meet?
We went to Forney last week and competed in a powerlifting meet, and we had some kids that we had the snow apocalypse 2.0 come attack this part of Texas. So they kind of struggled. Some of them kind of struggled. We had 2 or 3 guys get new PRs, and we have one guy that's 3rd in the region. We have one guy 4th in the region. We have a guy that's 8 in 2 weight classes that he has to pick which one he wants to do throughout the way. I will say that they've came a long way and they're competing. They do what they're asked to do and they go above and beyond. We have a powerlifting meet next week. That's going to be big for them because it's coming up to the end, so they need to get the best they can. They need to let it all hang out, it's like they like to say,
Right.
so we can get some more people in the regionals.
Yep.
All right.
That's a goal of mine, is just to get them guys out to compete, get Terrell representing, let Terrell represent us in regional.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's about, having those kids have put a name for themselves and represent themselves and Terrell. I mean, I'm not doing anything. I'm just telling them to put the weight on and squat it, bench it up. It's all them. So I'm
Right.
proud of them. Still got a lot of work to do, but it's always good to be a Terrell Tiger, is what they like to say here. So
All right. I respect that. I like how these guys compete and get after it and take pride in being able to lift a lot of weight and all that kind of stuff and are challenged by it. That's always good. All right. So here in Sealy for myself, for the Tigers, the past couple of weeks we've been off due to other logistical things, right, Adam? Um, but we officially started district play last night against Harmony. The Tigers came away with that dub by the score of 5-0.
yes, sir.
Really good showing the first district game out. They were a pretty solid group. The team that we played, we scored really early. I would say in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then from there until maybe the last 5 minutes of the first half, we kind of took our foot off the pedal, if you will, and kind of got a little discombobulated. But after a nice little team talk at halftime, we just kept doing what we've been doing, which is we just like to run at people because we got speed and we like to dominate. So we eventually warmed down, scored 4 more goals in the second half to put the icing on the cake and give us a nice little start. So happy for the boys. Be back at it again Friday at Belleville, which is our arch rivals, at 7:15. So we're excited for that. And again, just one thing I always try to illustrate for these boys or motivate them is that we got to approach these and take it one game at a time. We got 10 district ball games, but our goal is to win district. We feel really strongly about that, but we have to take one game at a time and make sure that we don't skip over anybody, no matter how good or how bad they are. So right now, I just hope that we can stay consistent. We're playing really good soccer right now, or football. So hopefully we're carrying that into Friday. So we're excited for that. But anyway, soccer in Sealy is doing pretty well right now. And then last but not least, Adam, how is the world of logistics and furniture moving going for you?
I mean, unlike you crybabies who can't deal with the weather, we continue to work because logistics don't stop just because y'all stop.
Yeah, that's another bad take there.
Bad take, man. Bad take.
Well,
He's just known for it.
but no, I mean, we're staying pretty busy here lately. I mean, I don't know really how else to explain that. We just have a bunch of moving parts, kind of like Clete was saying, where there's not a one-man band. It's more of a several people dive in to make something run. I mean, we got some pretty wealthy, high-class clients that are very needy. So even when the weather's bad, they don't want to stop. So we don't stop. But that's the life of logistics. We work all the time.
All right. There's your updates for the week. So hopefully everybody is getting really entrenched into what we're doing at our respective spots and what our careers are. So, fellas, thanks for the update. Moving on
hey,
into the next. Yes, please.
sorry. One thing for a little update. Track has officially started in Ozone, Texas. So
All right.
we're
track.
trying to run fast and turn left. So
All right.
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Track season is always exciting too to watch them boys and girls fly. So that's exciting. So good luck to the Lions there in Ozona in track season. I know the Tigers are starting to get active in the track scene as well here in Sealy, and I'm sure in Terrell, those Tigers as well are starting to get active on the track scene as well. And I'm sure y'all got some boys that can fly too. So looking to hear in the future about how our respective track teams are going. All right, moving on into the next segment, right? This is going to be our inspirational / motivational segment, but I've decided to title it "Our Period of Enlightenment." Right? So, trying to give us some classy, flashy, sticky segment names, whatever, instead of something generic. But anyways, Cletus and Cobb, you're responsible this week for hopefully finding something that inspired you or motivated you this week. And if you don't have nothing, your boy can help you out.
all right. Well, I was talking to Josh before this, and I was talking, so I really don't have anything. Then I thought back. I finished. You ever read the book "Can't Hurt Me" by David Goggins? You ever
Heard of it?
or heard of it? Well, his whole thing is like, strengthening your mind and like callousing your mind and making your mind tougher. That's kind of his whole like shtick,
Right.
And he has this great quote out, and I love it. It's I don't stop when I'm tired, because usually when we're tired, our minds say, "Okay, we're done. We're it's enough." All right. He stops when he's done. So if he has 1,000 squats, he's not going to fit. He's not stopping at 900 or a 500. He's stopping at 1,000. If he's an ultra marathon runner, so if he runs 8 miles that day, he's not stopping at mile 700, right? Or 7. I'm sorry. And his thing is like, I may be tired, but it's the next step, the next step, the next step, the next step. And like I said, that quote, it's one of my favorite quotes of his, is just basically saying, when I'm done, then I can stop. I'm not going to stop before then, and I'm going to allow my mind to tell me, okay, you're done. I control my mind.
Yeah. That's actually, he's really good to dive into and listen to. Same with the other guy's name is, I believe, Jocko. They're kind of like the same type.
Jocko Willick.
Yeah. They're really good into that. Basically,
Quick
callousing
question:
the mind.
how long is an ultra marathon? I really don't know.
Let me look it up. I really don't know either.
Statistician over there. What is an ultra marathon?
If I had to take a guess, I would say it's like 2 marathons. But
it's 42.2 one.
That's 2 miles. That's
Or
2
sorry,
marathons.
yeah, it's 26 miles.
Boy,
It's 42.1.
26 miles is one marathon.
Yeah, it's 2 marathons. You're basically running 2 marathons.
So
two.
2
30?
marathons. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what.
So was it 40?
No further
almost
questions.
50 miles.
Yeah, thank you.
Look,
All right, Cobbs. Is there
Right.
anything? Yeah, it's a 2 marathon. Cobbs, is there anything this week that has inspired you or motivated you?
with our, kind of leading back into kind of our updates, and really it leads into our debate topic about the GOAT. So it's kind of cool that it kind of popped up or whatever. But at Terrell, we had this cool deal, and I'm sure everybody's seen it on Twitter. Shout out to Steve Mackey. But we do the 2 words over at Terrell, and it's about just motivating the kids and teaching them a life lesson, or that's got to do with sports, but also in just life in general. So I did one with the baseball team. And it was a cool quote that kind of stuck with me, and something we kind of preach at baseball practice all the time about messing up. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to make mistakes in life, type stuff. But Michael Jordan said, he's missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. I've lost more than 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over again in my life, but that is why I succeed. And that was, to me,
Amen.
that was a dang good quote. It's kind of crazy to think that, first of all, he's taken 9,000 shots. That's ridiculous. But then he's missed 26 game shots, but it's one of those cool things about in life. Never give up. It doesn't matter how many times you mess up, how many times you lose, how many times crap, you can't pay a bill, you can't make it to work, whatever. The one time you can make it to work, you can change somebody's life, or heck, that's your winning day. It might change your whole life at that point, or somebody else's life.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great quote by MJ. Um, basically, just self-determination and keep going. Um, also, I got one little thing to add too, because I went to our regional meeting on Saturday with my head coach and OC, and it was mainly, it's for all sports, but like mainly football, whatever. And most of that, they probably could have wrapped it up in an email and sent it out instead of wasting our time talking about it or whatnot. But we had 2 guest lectures there. One was our former UIL president, Dr. Susan Elzo, and she had a pretty good speech before she was all talking about Nebraska and all that kind of BS and whatnot. But the next guy was Drew Sabota, who is the new special teams coordinator and assistant head coach at North Texas. He's came from Alabama, so working with Saban, and so like his last thing of his speech, he was talking about how people always ask him questions about Saban and all this kind of stuff and blah blah blah. And he's saying this good things about Saban, like the most consistent guy, the most dedicated guy, all these kind of things. But he said the one thing that Saban always tells his players and his staff and all that stuff every single day, and it's about self-determination and consistency and stuff like that, is that you know what to do, you don't want to do it, but you make yourself do it. And that kind of rang home. It definitely rang for our OC because he told it to our kids on Monday, and it's just it's true, and it was kind of a nice little quote to wrap up his entire speech, which was actually pretty good, and all that kind of stuff. But all right, good. It's always good to hear inspirational and motivational stuff that we can digest ourselves and then give to our own kids or whoever else who needs it, because like I said, um, we need it a lot in this world. Now progressing to our favorite segment on the show, or will become our favorite segment of the show, right? It's the lights, camera, action, right? Get ready for the worst sports takes ever. It is our debate topics of the week, right? So excited about this week. The first one that we're going to look at and debate about as a group, it stems from our stat of the week last week, when it basically talked about how the last 15 years, the national champions in college football have come from a small area of the United States, specifically the Southeast. And what we are going to debate on and we can go around like round table, if you will, but we are going to say which team is the best of the last 15 years and why. And you can, I guess, teams that have won it multiple times, I guess you can lump them all together, or you can be specific and say a certain year for that school. But anyways, we'll let Adam go first. So Adam, please tell us from the last 15 years, which college national champion in football is the best and why?
I mean, you said it here at the very bottom. Get ready for the worst sports take ever. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit you with probably Deshaun Watson's Clemson Tigers. The 2-point conversion at the end in the national championship. To me, that was probably, I mean, like I said, football fan for a long time, brother's a coach. Watched a lot of football in my day, but I mean, that game was almost incredible to watch, even not being a fan of either team, not caring about either team, not caring about any, but just think about how many of those players that were on that field at that time are playing at the next level right now that we witnessed in that game and that we're still continuing to witness, I mean, but even after that, even the years prior to that, I mean, Deshaun Watson and those Clemson Tigers, as well as their defense, was number one in the college football for a few years, So, I mean, if I had to pick in the last 15 years, Clemson as a university has been pretty dominant, in my opinion.
Okay, I respect that. I don't think that's a bad take either because that game specifically was really good. But anyways, Clete, what do you got?
It really pains me to say this as an A&M fan. It really does. But it would be, I think, me personally, the most dominant team I've seen in the last 15 is the 2019 LSU Tigers.
Mm.
I mean, they had some dudes on offense, played really good defense, and I mean, and again, Joe Burrow in the NFL is doing the same thing he did freaking at LSU. He's just being a freaking dude,
Right.
Being the dude, and just that swagger that team had. They knew they were going to kick your ass, and they could do it in a lot of different ways.
Yes, sir.
But I mean that team was one of the most dominant teams I think I've seen in the last 15, 20 years.
Mm.
I
agree.
Especially like offensively, they can
Right.
freaking light up a dang scoreboard.
Yeah, I agree with that take. I also think on that take, they happened to catch lightning in a bottle for that 1 year, and I'm not taking anything away from them, but it just all the stars aligned from that 1 year, with Burrow and Chase and Jefferson, with their OC with Brady and their defense. Like everything happened to line up for them, and they were just absolutely dominant that year.
Well, the year before, they were what, like 10-2, 9-3. The year
Portal.
before, huh?
Transfer portal.
Was that? Oh yeah, it was, huh? But yeah, I mean, the year before they were a good football team, but just they lost 2 or 3 games, and and Burrow was a dude that year too. Then their OC,
but their defense was average, not good.
Yes,
it was average.
Yes,
their
at
defense was
best.
average.
Did he play his first?
They allowed
year
a
at
lot of
LSU?
points. Their defense did.
Yeah.
Oh hell,
Did Burrow play his first year when he transferred from Ohio State, or did he sit out?
He set out.
he said
Did he
it.
sit out?
So his junior
The rule
year
hadn't been changed yet
Okay.
when he transferred out.
in 18 was his junior year, right? Or sophomore year?
Should have been
Junior.
junior.
Because 2019 was his senior year and he won the championship.
Yeah. Because in 18, that was the 72-74 A&M LSU game, and he was the quarterback on that team. I'm pretty sure he was. I'm probably
I don't
speaking
know.
out of my ass. There's a good chance of that.
But you also speaking out your ass because you just told me the football score was 72-74 and you said this defense was good.
I said average. I agree with you. I said average.
But let's go back to your
takes,
take, though.
remember?
Your take was good defense. Just saying.
Yeah.
Bad takes, though. It's okay. We all get one.
Yeah.
What, 2019?
No, the year before you're talking about.
But
anyways,
their defense.
We'll let you do your research over there, Cletus, to figure out. I don't think Burrow played because I don't think the transfer portal and all that was in effect yet, and I think he still had to sit out. If I had to take a guess, but Jack, who you got, big dog?
I got 2 teams. 2 teams. You can take it as you want, but my 2 teams, I've already talked about it a little bit, or is the Clemson, the college football playoff game between Alabama and Clemson. Is the year Trevor Lawrence and Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. Those 2 teams by themselves have had the most draft picks in the NFL that we are watching to this day are still playing. Mention a name that you could talk about is Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, Trevor Lawrence, like I said, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts. I mean, you can go on. I think the dominance of those two teams for themselves. Jalen Waddle, you have the receivers. I mean, just the name of those two teams, those two programs, I think you can't really – I mean, you could say the national championship that year, the national championship team that year was Clemson, and you could say that was the best team, one of the greatest combined best teams that was made. But you have to give credit to Alabama because those are two powerhouses that year, and they met in the college football playoff. And Clemson ended up pulling it off with the great Trevor Lawrence. So, I mean, I've done a bunch of research on this, and the research was saying that all the draft picks and all the stuff that came to align, that those two teams in the last from 20, I didn't go so far back to 2008, but I went from like 2012 to 2023, and you got the Georgia Bulldogs that can compare to that right now, the back-to-back, the repeats. But I think you got to name the names of the team, the players we were watching on Sundays that are making big name impacts, that are contract distribution, that are the future. As we know that the great Tom Brady just retired. Our childhood heroes are over. Now it's the new childhood heroes, and those are the guys that played that Monday night a couple years ago, and it's the Clemson.
One of them playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's the Clemson Tigers and the Alabama Crimson Tide. I think it was 2018?
Let me see.
Or 2020?
I think it was when Lawrence 18 was when
It's the year Jalen Hurts got benched at halftime.
Yes, and that was and Tua showed up. And then after that, that's when the stars aligned for old Joe Burr next year. So
Alabama won in 17. That was the halftime switch.
Yes.
And then Clemson the next year, and then LSU.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So there you go, Joe Burr, 19. So right now it looks like we got the 16 Clemson Tigers. Go Tigers. Going to be alum, working on the alum. We got alum in the corner. We got the 2020 or the 2019 LSU Tigers. Then we got the 2018 Alabama Crimson Tide and 2018 Clemson Tigers.
Very good, very good. Cobbs, who do you got, big dog?
We were kind of just talking about it. I don't know, dude. It's hard to go against Bama when they've been so consistent. I mean, you got to say they've been the most consistent. As much as I hate freaking saying that they're one of the best, whatever, but they've been the most consistent team in college football in the past at least 7 years, at least.
You can go further back than that.
I mean, yeah, right. You can easily go farther back than that, but but kind of like what we were just talking about. What year was the one they switched quarterbacks at halftime from Hurts to
17.
Like for a team to be able to do that in national championship and the dude come in and still do what he did and put up the numbers he did is ridiculous. And to me, that's got to be. You talk about a team has to be a team. You got to win. No matter what it takes, and you have to be ready for your moment and be locked in at any time when it happens.
Right.
First of all, for the kids to be able to do that, Tua was he a freshman that year?
I think so.
I mean, for what you say, 18, 19-year-old kid to be locked in that mentally locked in and focused in a moment that big.
That's the biggest stage of college football.
Yeah, the biggest stage of college football, and then not only
coming in against the national champion winning quarterback already.
Yeah, and then not only for Jalen to be his biggest fan on the sideline, knowing that he just got benched in the national championship game, speaks volumes not only to the kids but perhaps to the coaching staff to have the kids ready for a moment like that.
Right.
So like I said, to me, that's got to be up there for me because that takes a lot. Not only just the X's and O's and all that, but just the behind the scenes of what it takes to be a team.
So you're saying the 17 Alabama Crimson Tide is the best team in the last 15 years. That's what you're saying.
It's got to be up there.
That's the debate. You're saying that against all those other teams. You're saying that team can beat the 16 Clemson Tigers, the 19 LSU Tigers.
Hey,
and
calm
the
down. That's his
18
pick. That's his pick.
Clemson
That's his
Tigers.
pick.
Hey, that's my pick, dog.
How you gonna call it a debate topic if we can't debate it?
Hey, that's fine.
I know.
Hey,
I know.
I'm saying, I'm trying to debate
Come
the
on,
topic. I'm trying to think why he picked. He's saying it as the coach, the preacher talk. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, the 17
Them damn
Alabama
boys out there
Crimson
were got the most
Hey,
coachable group
can
of
I-
guys I've done ever
I'm
seen.
saying that because
Tide-
no
If,
matter
if
what
they
you
played
throw,
baseball, I'd have played every single one of them.
because what you throw, no matter what you throw at them and how good anybody is at them, they're going to be ready, and they
Mm.
showed it. So to me, they can play and they can compete with anybody that we're talking about because mentally they can show that they can take any punch and any beating and any crap anything anybody gives to them.
Right. That's not a bad take. You know, we have to remember
That's
that
not bad.
in 2017, I think was when they beat Georgia. I don't know. Don't get it confused that they beat Clemson. So we got to remember that they beat Georgia on the last second. I think it was in overtime. No, or before overtime when Tua hit the. I forgot who the score. It was who did he hit? Was it
The
not Waddle,
receiver
but the other one?
Wade.
Smith. Devontae Smith is when he scored. I think it was the one.
Yep.
But all right. I'm gonna disagree, and I think that obviously any Bama team for the last 15, 16 years you can consider up there. But I'm gonna go with the 2008 Florida Gators.
I was going to say that, and I didn't.
That was one of mine.
Actually,
Yeah.
At first when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, they're all gonna give me shit for saying Florida Gators or whatnot.
Nah.
But then the more I thought about it, it made sense because they still had Tebow and Percy Harvin and all those dudes or whatnot, and they were dominant for that time era early, and they were the ones that kind of helped get the SEC on their run of being a national dominant conference. No, but my real team I think was one of, if not the greatest teams for the last 15 years would have to be the 2020 Alabama Crimson Tide. And when we look at it here, right, and you look to the roster, they had Mac Jones at quarterback. They also had Bryce Young at quarterback. They had Najee Harris running back, Devontae Smith, Jalen Adams. They just had John Mechie, tons of dudes that are in NFL from this team, and they were absolutely dominant
Ooh.
during the season, including whooping up on Ohio State in a national championship game. I believe it was 20. I just had it here. It was 52. Excuse me. Yeah, 52-24 in a national championship game. Now, obviously, we can look back and look what Georgia just did. But still, I think they were one of the dominant. I still think that Florida's Gators were a good team as well. But
hey, to speak on your Florida Gator pick, I just looked it up. Like they got to be up there. I haven't looked up all the other ones, but think about this: total offense that year for Florida, they had 6,000. It says they had 6,000. Where'd it go?
Put them bifocals on there, old head.
old head.
Okay, so it said they had over 6,231 yards on the year or whatever, and opponents had a little under 4,000. That's like they're just putting up. It was they averaged 60 points a game that year.
Yeah, they had some dudes on that team. We got to remember that they had a preacher, right? They had a
A
convict,
racist.
racist.
They had it all.
They had the Pouncey brothers.
They had the Pouncey brothers. They had Percy
And a
Harvin,
murderer.
right?
And a
They had
murderer.
all of them dudes on that squad that won it twice in a 3-year period.
Ooh.
But as a Hurricane, I can truly say this, and that's fuck the Gators, right? So that's all I got to say on that, right?
I didn't
And the
even
Seminoles.
think about that.
And-
That is good. They should definitely have a 30-30 for 30 for that Gator team for sure.
Mm.
It's like
Yeah, they should.
the bullies of Baltimore. They should make
Oh.
a 30 for 30 for the
Yeah,
Gators in that.
I've seen that before
I can
because-
vouch for that.
Yeah, literally, they had a preacher, a racist, a convicted killer, twins, and Percy Harvey.
They had Newton as their backup quarterback.
Speed demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, before he
Yeah.
transferred.
That's
He ain't
The,
better than Tebow
well, Tebow led them to national championship.
twice,
Well, the first one was Chris Leak, I think.
but he went again.
Yeah.
Hey, not only to say, freaking Tebow is a lefty, but lefty quarterbacks in the league in this era. With
We're
like,
a bunch of weirdos.
They ran his ass, though.
yeah, no, I agree.
Hey,
Man, dude, freaking,
hey, if it works,
it was like a bulldozer.
Let's
If it
go.
works, if it works.
if the boot fits.
Yeah.
Hey, that's
yeah.
a good one for you there, statistician. How many lefty QBs have really made it and been like
Michael Vick.
studs?
In the
Steve
NFL?
Young. Steve
Yeah,
Young.
Steve Young,
Yeah,
Michael
Steve
Vick
Young,
before the
Michael
Dolphins
Vick.
stuff.
Do you,
I
do
would
you
say
consider
Mark Brunell
Tebow-
was a decent left-handed quarterback.
Do you consider Tebow making it in the NFL, like and being like a dude?
He won some NFL games.
I mean, he won that playoff game.
Jack, you ask for a timeout or what?
We can't hear you, bro.
I hear you.
Hold on.
You're saying Mark Brunell's a good quarterback? He's the
I
I
knew
was
that
waiting
was
for
coming.
somebody. I was waiting for somebody to say something.
no love lost for Mark Brunell. He won a Super Bowl with the Bullies, but jingo.
But we're talking about left-handed quarterbacks. It's not like there's 400 of them to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, there's like hardly any.
Well, yeah. Hey, so we got out of the topic. So we're saying which one of our picks is the greatest team of all time?
Hey, that's why we're doing this podcast, man. We get off topic every now and then, but it's not sports.
Hey.
Well, you know my internet sucks here, so it hits in and out. Next thing I know, we're talking about Mark Brunell being a good quarterback. I had to say something.
Your face
Left-handed
went.
quarterback.
Your face went. What?
Time out. We were talking about lefty quarterbacks that have made it.
It's glitching. It comes back and forth, and then all I hear is Mark Brunell was a good quarterback. I'm like,
hey.
time out.
By the way, how is the Bulls of Baltimore? Because I didn't get to watch. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it.
I ain't gonna watch it, so I won't be able to tell you. Ray Lewis is also a killer who just got away with it. So we're not gonna talk about that. It is a debate, but we're not gonna debate about it.
He didn't get indicted, so he clearly wasn't a murderer.
Okay. That doesn't make you not a murderer, but all right.
And
Interesting.
What's the law say? You're innocent until proven guilty, right? He was
Touche.
Amen. I don't. It's hard. I think it's
And OG didn't do it, so
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
if the glove doesn't fit, you gotta
But he
quit.
did. But he did bring back the Bronco.
He did bring back the Bronco.
Yeah.
He made them a lot of money.
Amen. I don't know. It's. I guess we could debate and pick and choose who's the best, but I think I don't know. It's a little bit.
This is a debate topic. We
I
are
know,
going to debate it.
I'm gonna throw one in there, and you can shoot it. I don't give a damn. The 13 Florida State Seminoles.
Fuck Florida State.
Hey, no.
Garbage can football team. Kelvin Benjamin was the only other player outside Davis that they got. That boy was a Popeye's bit.
Timeout. He go.
Yeah, put his ass in timeout, bringing up the fucking Seminoles.
See you later.
The crap.
Hey man, Jimbo baby, Jimbo.
Nah.
1 year fluke. Here you go. Come back, please. The 1 year.
Jalen, dude.
That boy had a wide receiver who was a Popeye's biscuit away from being a tight end.
Oh, there's no doubt. But Devontae Adams, Freeman was on it. Devontae Freeman was on that team.
Devontae Freeman is just as big.
I know he is, but he's had a good career.
Yo, somebody get this guy.
Yes,
You were on timeout. You were on timeout for this. Don't bring it back
You
up.
were on timeout to bring this back up. Your only argument
worst.
that you have is Jalen Ramsey. That's it. That's all.
You would have to agree that they were probably the worst national champion of the last 15 years.
Oh yeah, completely.
Just because they're the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah, I come from Miami fan though, right?
They have one of the coolest intros in college football.
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
that's it.
Freaking legit. And it changed ties back to the Florida Gators that we were talking about. I just read it because I've been reading about them. We've been talking about it. 41 out of the 121 players on their roster that year have been arrested.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
Urban Meyer don't care. Win games,
that's the
baby.
Cons versus the
and Dan Mullins.
the convicts debate.
Oh, that's right. Dan Mullen was the OC that.
OC that year.
That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot.
What do you want me to do?
Like, that's ridiculous.
They put one of these on their fingers. That's all that matters, you know.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're in an arms race with college sports anyway. You know, I mean, why does the heck it matter? If I'm going to win a national championship, I'm going to load my team up with transfer portal guys. It's going to go get me big bucks to win me a natty. I'm going to go get my career.
You know what? Give me a couple of them convicts.
And then I'm going to get back in it, get them to the pros, what they want to do, make me my NIL deals off their butts, give me a big name on my resume, Sam. Like the whole thing with Ed Ogeron, They told me they wanted me out the door. They just told me what they had to tell me. They give me that check. I'm gonna walk out the door. They can tell me
Which
what
door you want me to walk out of?
through.
Which door you want me to walk out of?
Yeah. Go
Hey.
Tigers. I mean,
Go
same.
Tigers.
I mean,
Go Tigers.
it's the same. It's the same concept. I mean, we're in an arms
man.
race.
Man.
So I think we all nailed it on the head with our takes for those teams. I think they're all in their right created greatness. So
Because here's the next progress or whatever we can make to that debate. Out of all the teams we have chosen, which one that if we were to pit them all against each other, who comes out victorious?
Bama.
I know, like 3 of us got Bama, so Bama.
Well, Bama beat within those years. No.
Florida wins.
They beat the hell out of Florida State. I'll tell you that.
Hey man, nobody gonna beat that motherfucker.
Hey, 2008 Florida Gators win, man. They go and make a bunch of crimes in the Bama hotel room, and Bama don't even make it to the game.
Yeah, see, I don't think so. Think about the game when Tebow was playing, right? Into the game that
We're in
Alabama, the 2020 Bama team, for example, all those defensive guys, the defensive linemen, even the Clemson Tigers of the 2019, their defensive line is not going to be worried about Tebow running the ball. Those D linemen are monsters,
right?
300-pound dudes that can move, and that could bring in our next debate, Curtin. But I'm telling you, those linemen, those D linemen that have been built, was created. He's not going to worry about Tim Tebow running the ball. His arm strength wasn't the same as these other Joe Burrows that we mentioned, Trevor Lawrence we mentioned, Mac Jones we mentioned, even Tua or Jalen. Their arm strength was unmatched in Tim Tebow. So you're telling me a lefty Tim Tebow could beat a Jalen Hurts?
No, but their defense could.
It's also like the spread offense really kind of got going that year too. Urban Meyer the spread came to the SEC, which was traditionally, under center power football. Now he's getting his athletes in space. I mean, just the coach talk on this deal is, it's just he brought that system into a league that was traditionally, we're going to get in the eye, we're going to run the football, we're going to play good defense, and we're going to win the game 6-3.
But the spread element of in the SEC that we see more of nowadays, it took a little while before it finally infiltrated the whole conference. Because like when Bama first started doing their run, they were more of a, we're going to smash you, we're going to run you over with the run game, we're going to have a dominant defense, and we're going to have a quarterback that can just be a game manager.
Yeah.
Right? You look at all the
AJ McCarron's a prime example. Greg McElroy, they were all under center quarterbacks. They were pro-style quarterbacks. Just don't turn the ball over, and we win the game. That's all we're asking. But he went to 4 national championships doing just that. Yeah. So if I were to go and pick, Jack's right. It's kind of hard to pick against Bama because they've actually progressed and they've exceeded every progression, and they have won a national championship out of every progress. Out of all the progression, they started under center. They won the national championship as a pro-style team. They changed it up to the spread-style team. They beat the brakes off of teams as a spread-style team. They're still making it big in a spread-style offense. Their defense has been lacking a little bit, so to speak. But, they have dominated every offensive style that the SEC has adopted. They have dominated in each and every one of those categories.
They were able to adapt a lot better than most teams could have. And I think part of it is the player. They bring good players in. Good players are going to, do what good players do.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I also think where it truly changed for Bama, where they went from their old school, we're just going to run the ball down your throat, to now we can run the ball and throw you to death, was when Lane Kiffin came to town. Yeah. And I think it was Lane was there first. Sarkisian might have been there first, but I think it was.
I think Lane.
What year was that, Papa?
It was like the mid-2010s, right? 2013, 14?
13, 14, I thought, right? It was after Manziel. I know that.
I can't remember if Sarkisian was first or Lane Kiffin, but like one of those two guys was the one that adopted and evolved their offense to that juggernaut it became. I
think it was Lane Kiffin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I
The-
can't remember who came first.
The best moment that year when Lane was the OC was Saban was trying to call a timeout because they thought he was misaligned,
Right.
and Lane like body checked him or blocked him from the ref, and they threw a freaking touchdown.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and yes, and Saban was pissed because Lane kind of like
Yeah.
overstepped what he's supposed to do, but
But
Lane,
he has that. Yeah, he has that moxie to him though. Like he don't give a
oh
damn.
yeah,
That's what I
he
like
don't
about Lane
care.
Came into
Kiffin.
town in 2014, boys.
Yeah, that's what.
14.
Yeah, 14 is when he came into town.
Was Sarkisian before him?
Let me look.
I remember reading a.
Well, then what you been looking up over there?
I'm trying to remember. I read something about it earlier, but
Well, hey, I don't see logistics man over there doing his job.
Shit, my logistics ain't in football, pal.
that's true.
Where'd it go?
So Jack, here in a minute. Speaking of NBA trades, when we talk about it here in a
This is
second,
great.
let's talk about
This is
NBA.
great podcast. By
No,
the
we're
way.
not
There's
doing that to me.
There's a big trade that just went down.
Oh yeah, just now.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell, yeah, going to
Yeah.
LA.
Sarkisian didn't come in until 19.
Okay, so Lane was the one that revolutionized into what they are now.
Because Stark was what USC or Washington.
He was.
Those
He
are
got
the
fired at
Falcons.
USC.
Nope, he was at the Falcons the year before.
No, yeah,
yes.
but his last college job was he was the head coach at USC and got fired for being basically
Yeah.
a drunk or something.
Yeah, he was at USC 2014 to 15.
Stark
And then-
after dark, baby.
Yeah, and then he took that year off and went to Bama or went to the Falcons,
Right,
which that's
so
a
went
crazy
down.
jump, by the way.
Yeah.
Take a year off because you're drunk or whatever, and then you get to jump straight to the NFL.
Yes. And then he goes to Bama. Now he's
Yeah.
now he's the coach.
And yeah, that's been great.
What the hell?
Sorry, we're making a comeback. Yours are going to be his dog this year.
We'll see. We shall see.
Manny may win that damn job.
Speaking of worst takes,
Really, you really might be right about that.
Yeah,
Manny
speaking
might
of
win.
worst takes,
I just hope
anything Longhorn mentioned is a worst take on this show.
For real.
that's fine, guys. It is what it is. I will still support regardless. I don't care.
Amen.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks,
Oh,
man.
hey,
terrible take.
guess what, Cody? College
What?
baseball starts this month.
Hey, and speaking of that, did you see? I was reading about college baseball. Hey, guys, this is why we talk the podcast. So whatever, get over it. Stop rolling eyes. Did you see? As much as I hate freaking the Aggies, they're returning 7 starters from last year's College World Series team, and Slosh can recruit.
And guess where they're not gonna go?
Oh no, dude, they might make it.
Omaha, we're
Dude,
coming.
they're gonna be if they're not in Omaha, Slosh needs to be fired.
I agree.
Hey, real quick. Hey, real
Awesome.
quick. You know how many fucks I give about this right now?
0.
Right here. Zero.
Behold, my field of fucks.
Damn, I missed all
Yeah.
the fun stuff when I
Aaron.
cut out.
It
Uh,
is barren
Oh, you
because
missed
I have no fucks. to
don't
give.
worry, Jack. They were talking about college baseball, and we're not ready for that topic yet. So
Right, Texas Tech gonna
they're
be
trying
up
to
there.
jump the gun here. We're debating, and they want to talk about college baseball.
I'll be a Raider fan.
It's why we started this.
why we
this thing.
started
Yeah,
Alright.
but this is our
Sports.
debate section. We can
Alright.
bring that up in another one.
I'm gonna drop
All
you
right, hey.
down
So the
on
next one
that.
we can hop into. Originally, it looks like we had the best big or fat man athlete, but for right now, we're gonna put that on a pause. Let's talk about NBA real quick because just like I mentioned a little while ago, big trade in the NBA. The Lakers finally move on from Russell Westbrook and that disaster of a move. They sent him to
The Timberwolves.
Jazz.
Timberwolves for D'Angelo Russell, right? Malik Beasley.
No, he's going. Oh
Derek
yeah, he's going
White.
to the Jazz.
Okay, and a 3-team trade. I'm not going to read it all right now. Y'all can read it. But maybe that's the move to kickstart the Lakers, right? Maybe that's a better. Russell may be a better teammate and facilitator for LeBron and AD, and we'll see. Obviously, it can be anything will be a better step up than Russell Westbrook. Sure.
LeBron's biggest help would be Anthony Davis and would be healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think that's a big time move in the NBA. But the other big time trade
Don't do it.
was who was it again? I forgot. Oh yeah, Kyrie to the Mavs, right?
Don't do it.
So I know Jack and Adam are big Mavs fans, and Cobbs, are you a Mavs fan too?
Yeah, I'm a Mavs fan. I just don't, like I'm a Mavs fan, but I don't watch NBA basketball like as
Okay,
much.
fair enough.
Time out.
Fair enough.
It just
Jack,
doesn't- it
you
doesn't-
Yeah, I got you. It's okay. I don't really watch England, but
He's
Jack,
boring.
I know you're a big Mavs fan, and Adam, you are too. So the Garcia brothers are big Mavs fans. Let me get your take on the Kyrie move. Do you like it? Give me a rating. What do you think they could have done better? Should they still make trades? Where are y'all at right
Well,
now?
I'm more concerned about what do we think is going to happen? Do we think that he's going to get traded and then he's going to decide he's like, yeah, I'm going to sign an extension? Do we really think that he's going to sign an extension knowing that this is not the destination he wanted to go to after you heard that the Brooklyn owner was like, you can send him anywhere, just don't send him to the Lakers because that's where he wants to go.
Right.
So you can preach to him and you can preach to him all you want. I mean, obviously he's supposed to debut tonight, and you also don't know what kind of teammate. I mean, we know from what we've seen out of everybody, Luka is a very humble teammate, So, but we also don't know Kyrie because as soon as he won the championship with LeBron, he wanted to do his own thing, and he hasn't progressed since he's done his own thing.
Right.
So I don't know if he's just here as just like a stopping point and then just to go somewhere else next year and just to ride the season out, So to me, it's the uncertainty that bothers me the most when we had a couple of players that were starting to step up and they were a certainty in our future, at least. And the fact that the position that we got, position we needed.
Or maybe he does, the opposite, and he helps the Mavs.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, but if they win a championship, does it matter?
If he leaves, it still matters.
I understand, but if they win a championship this year, for Mav fans, does it matter?
I'm still gonna care.
Right, for you got the one.
But I
get
would
that.
be definitely happy for a championship. But I'm saying
Right.
I was still upset about what Cuban did after the championship team. He tore them apart. He ripped them apart.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say that if they win again, he might not even want to sign it for an extension because he won the championship. So at some point, that's what bothers me the most is the uncertainty.
Did they sign? They signed Luka to like a long term, right? Like a supermax. Did they go supermax deal?
Supermax for like 5 extra years.
Okay, so he's locked up for however long.
Well,
right?
I mean, he could pull a Kyrie and be like, "Yeah, I want to be traded," and still refuse to play. He has that luxury.
True. Like I said, I'm ignorant to all that kind of stuff because I don't pay attention to it.
But we do have him long term if everything works out. Yes.
Okay, I got you. I was just curious.
Do you think the Mavs can convince him to sign a long-term contract to stay in Dallas? What do you think it's going to take? Yeah, what do you think it's going to take for him to stay long-term and not want to jump ship after the season?
I think the way he plays alongside Luka, if I'm being honest, because he's had a teammate like LeBron, he's had a teammate like Kevin Durant. Luka is, I mean, he's pretty much the same aspect as both of those players in retrospect, but he also knows how to be a teammate. And so is LeBron, but Kevin Durant doesn't.
Yeah. It'll just be interesting to see.
And that's proved over again.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see because like Kyrie's history is that he's been paired with all these superstars and it works for a little while, and then when shit hits the fan, it like burns and he's like ready to bounce and jump ship because he's like a little. I don't want to say he's a crybaby, but like when it doesn't work out, like instead of trying to fix stuff, he wants to bounce and leave.
It's unfortunate because he's still good, and I think
that's absolutely.
He wants to go after what he thinks he's worth, which is his biggest downfall because he is worth a lot because he's still very, very talented. So you could put him on any team, and you'd be dumb to not at least try to trade for him. He still has that luxury, and at some point, I think that he needs like a humbling moment to be like, you know what, man, and his humbling moment at the very beginning was teaming up with LeBron, winning a championship. But then after that, it's kind of like, you know what? I don't need him. I could do it.
Right.
He went to the Celtics, thought he could do it, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried. Jack's real quiet over there. I
can
see,
see
the smoke coming out of his ears right now.
Well, I can it's this dang computer. First off, I keep gliding out and I keep missing the bad takes that my brother says sometimes. My big question is this: if the Mavericks are known for not developing their players, their young talent, that's just given because you can tell it. The year they won the NBA Finals in 2011, the year to that leading up to that was all veteran talent. Well, the Mavs now are a young squad. their veterans are slowly dismantling out, like JaVale McGee and all that. Well, Luka's an MVP. Luka's a superstar caliber player in the NBA. He's the future of this. He's the future of the NBA. Well, the way the NBA looks right now, where superstars are the run it, he should stay in Dallas. Yes, we all want him to stay in Dallas as Mavericks fans. But where is the money? Where is the big market for superstars to go? Dallas is not one for Kyrie Irving. I think it's going to be a big market for Kyrie now because he's in Dallas, and Dallas is going to worship him. So that's the thing about Dallas fans. We're fair weather to an extent, but we're going to open them with open arms. We're going to love on him, just like Rajon Rondo when he came to Dallas.
We loved him. We loved him, and he hated us.
They opened their arms for him and loved on him and said, "Get us back to the promised land, baby." And we have Dirk and you. We're going to get back to the promised land. So, like here in Kyrie, you're here with open arms, baby. We love you. Come on, get us a ring. Help Luka get to that hump because Luka is the dog. Luka is the man of the team. Well, he needs help. I mean, you got to take away if you give him a chance where he can still gets 25, 35 points a game, but you have help, someone else is going to give you 25, 35 points a game. That helps because then you have your other mixed match players to get to your point. But you're telling me Kyrie is going to make a big difference that's going to beat a Golden State Warriors in the playoffs in Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Is Kyrie Irving going to do that for the Dallas Mavericks?
All right.
Yeah.
That's my question. And that's my biggest thing is the uncertainty because you don't know which Kyrie you're going to get. You don't know that.
No.
Because he could be really bad and he could be really good.
Here's my question for y'all, if you're a Mavs fan. Who's Batman? Who's Robin?
Batman's Luka. It ain't no question.
I mean, that's the question.
And if he ain't, then Kyrie. My problem is I think that Kyrie wants to be Batman. He's going to come in here and tell all the Mavs fans what they want to hear. But we don't see what happens in the locker room. We don't see what happens on the court. We don't see this. And Luka's young, but he's not no bitch. He tells you all the time. They chirp at me, I'm chirping at them. Yeah. So Kyrie's not going to come in and take this team from him. That ain't going to happen.
Right.
So that might make Kyrie. And Dallas knows that's Luka's team. Jason Kidd knows that's Luka's team. Mark Cuban knows that's Luka's team. Does Kyrie Irving know that's Luka's team?
Right.
Yeah. That's uncertainty. That's where I'm at. That's my uncertainty about this. That's why I don't like the trade because he does bring a lot of hype to a team that doesn't need it. We don't need that kind of publicity on this team. Luka doesn't need that kind of influence. He doesn't need that kind of publicity. His public figure is Dirk as an example. Dirk is the greatest example you could have. Now you're bringing somebody who's also a veteran who Luka is a very coachable player. So he's going to be willing to learn from somebody like Kyrie.
Right.
Yeah, but does Luka put him in his place? Because to me, I don't watch basketball enough, but watching Luka, the little bit that I do, and seeing interviews and stuff like that, to me, Luka don't put up with no shit. And maybe this is where, and again, it's uncertainty, but Luka puts him in his place enough to knock Kyrie back down and be humble a little bit about where he's at and the position he's in. Like, hey, nobody else wanted to dress, and really the team you were playing for didn't want you, so we finally, somebody wanted you finally here, and now give us what you got.
Yeah, I don't think that will. I don't think that will work with Kyrie in terms of Luka trying to put him in his place because, like Adam said, he's played with LeBron, he's played with KD, he's played with great players in the Boston area, but I don't think he does well to being second fiddle. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
But here's another take on that. I mean, at the end of the game, the Mavericks know. And I think it all comes down to how the players know who Batman and who Robin is. I don't think Luka cares what the public sees as who's Batman and who's Robin. I think he cares about who his teammates sees as Batman and who he sees as Robin. Like if it's 5 seconds left in the game, you're down by 3, who are you going to throw the ball to? And if it ain't Luka, then that's where Luka's going to have the problem.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because Luka's going to be the one that wants to make that decision on who would get the ball.
Who's the coach of the Mavs? I'm sorry.
Easy, man. MJ threw the ball to Steve Kerr to win him the finals.
That's what I'm saying. But if a teammate doesn't throw the ball, Luka wants to make that decision. So if he brings the ball down, he throws it to Kyrie. You clearly know who Batman is what I'm saying. to his teammates is what matters to Luka, not to the fans is what matters to Luka.
Who's the head coach of the Mavs? I'm sorry,
Jason
I'm
Kidd.
dumb.
Jason Kidd.
I'm oblivious to this because I don't watch hardly any NBA. Does he do a good job of like managing personalities?
I think he does.
Making sure everyone's like the not the Zen master, but because
He's
there's
not
only
Phil
one.
Knight,
There's only one Zen master. I know,
He's not Phil.
but you know what I'm saying. Like
I know what you're saying.
Managing egos, because that's what NBA coaches have to do is manage egos.
Yes. Right. I have a question. My question is this. So we've all established that Kyrie's established himself in the league of being a dominant player. He's won a ring. Right. He's been with some of the greatest basketball players in the league. Luka is going to be there in that one point in time. This is Luka's team. He was drafted by the Mavericks. But I'm not saying Luka needs to take a step back, but he does need to stay and look that Kyrie won a ring with LeBron, which we can go on a debate later on in this series. LeBron is one of the greatest basketball players to ever play, and you telling me Kyrie didn't take some of that stuff that he took away from some of the stuff LeBron taught him in that locker room, and he's going to bring to Dallas. You're sure telling me Luka has seen it from Dirk, right? He saw it from Dirk. Kyrie has seen it from the greatest basketball player playing the game.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying what my whole uncertainty is. Luka is a man of the people, but he's more of a man of the teammates. He's loved every teammate that has walked in the door. I think that they just need to understand on whose team it is. Mm-hmm. I think that that's what's going to bother him is their uncertainty.
Right. I also think another thing for Kyrie is, well, one, how is he going to mesh with Luka and the team, obviously overall, and then also the one thing that hurt him during his time at the Nets was his injury prone. So I hope all the best for it. Right. I think Kyrie's a great player. I think he can help elevate Luka and the Mavs game because the Western Conference feels like it's so wide open at the moment for the most part. But I do think that if we look at recent history or you look at the history of Kyrie, that it's going to start and it's going to be really, really good. And then it's going to end and it's going to crash and burn. And he's going to either leave in the summer or if they sign him, he's going to request a trade down the road. If you look at everywhere he's been.
History repeats itself.
Yes. And
that's my uncertainty. That's what I don't like. We're going to love this man. We're going to go all out. We're going to do what we can. We're going to get him just like the Nets did, just like the Celtics did. Oh, I want to be here. I want to be here. And then history has repeated itself and people keep falling in line.
Yes.
And you know what? I mean, like Jack said, I'm happy he's here. You know what? He could go out and he could score 40 points in the blink of an eye. He's the best handler on the basketball court. You know, I don't have any issue with him. I just think that what we have to, when it comes down to the team and stuff like that, one of them's going to have to dominate the ball more than the other one.
Right.
And I think that it's not really the fans who are going to affect the way that Kyrie and Luka see. It's going to be the teammates that are going to affect the way Luka and Kyrie see each other.
Right. Clete, you want to?
And that's my take on that. That's why I am a little unclear on how I feel because I like Kyrie as a basketball player. He'll give you anything that you need from him. Luka, we already know what Luka can do, and we've seen Kyrie perform with some of the greatest superstars. But we've also seen Kyrie decide. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not against the vaccine. I'm not against any of that. But when it was mandated in the state, he, which is fine. He has his rights. He chose against his team to out every single one of those games. So is he going to perform for your organization, or is he just going to be another problem for your organization? Because that means you have to replace him at least half of your basketball games. And that's fine. That's a personal choice. Like, I'm not taking that against him because, you know, I'm not vaccinated, stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, at some point, you have to make a decision. Nike left him because of the way he says things, you know, some of his post on Twitter, Instagram, social media, you know, has gotten him in trouble. He lost his Nike endorsement, you know, stuff like that. You know, that's publicity that somebody like as young as Luka and as young as the Mavericks core is, they don't need.
Right. I don't know. It's also a great thing brought up just now. Like Jack sent a picture to the group from a quote from Kyrie that says, "No one ever talks about my work ethic. Everyone talks about what I'm doing off the floor." And I understand, like, it's not like this guy is just sitting at the couch and just shows up to the arena and balls out. Like, I know he works hard. Most of the guys in the NBA, they do work hard because obviously all that competition, they have to keep their skills sharp day in and day out. But what about that quote? What I guess he doesn't realize is that his actions off the court is what takes away from everybody seeing what he does on the court and his stuff. You know what I mean, like that. So like yeah, you work hard, but then the stupid stuff that you do off the court or whatever, that's what people are gonna see and talk about all the time. You know what I mean? Because it gives them something to talk about. You know what I mean? Like so, your thing with him when he had his uh, can't say the word. Basically, the stuff against the Jews and stuff like that and
Yeah,
whatnot.
the thing about the Jews.
Yeah, I can't say the anti-Semitism, whatever the word.
Semitic.
Yeah,
Yeah, all that
that
kind
word.
of stuff, right?
Look at
That
the brain on Brad.
Good boy, Clete.
But anywho,
And I mean, I know that he does work hard, and we've seen it, and stuff like that. But half of the things that he says gets him suspended.
yeah, absolutely.
So it's
I don't know.
actually his work ethic isn't actually showing if he can't play.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting. I think overall it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be a move that if everything works out well, obviously is gonna be really beneficial for the Mavs, uh, especially like I said in the Western Conference, where I do feel it's kind of wide open for them to make a run. Obviously, I think they'll get in the playoffs, but to have a chance to get through the West and make it to the finals.
Hey, just real quick, shifting gears real quick from this one. Does anyone go into the $7 billion to buy the Commanders? Anyone?
I just saw that too. I was like,
Anyone at all? $7 billion to buy the Washington Commanders. Anyone? You want to throw your?
You'll take
let's-
20. You'll take $20.
you take this $7 billion check. I don't know if it may bounce, but
I think then if we
But-
change the name.
I don't
freaking
even know.
Dan
Like,
Snyder-
$7 billion for a franchise that's not really like. I understand like NFL franchises are worth a lot of money, but like
it's a franchise, man. They don't come around very often.
I know, but still to have a seven like I would expect $7 billion for like the Cowboys and teams that and the Patriots and all that kind of stuff. Like if the Redskins are asking for $7 billion, and imagine Jerry or Robert Kraft in the New England being like, all right, I want to sell these guys. How much they would want to be off asking for their team?
I'm with you because, like, think about the Cowboys market compared to the Commanders. Which one's bigger?
Yeah, well, also the fan base and all that kind of stuff. The Cowboys is way bigger.
Dude, first of all, the Commanders.
Location.
DC, man.
I still think if he does sell it, he's not getting nowhere near $7 million for it.
No, because the Broncos sold for what, like 4-point-something billion?
Yeah, I think they had the highest sale in NFL history.
Here comes Elon Musk fixing to buy up the Commanders.
Right. I just saw that. I'm like, oh, $7 billion. Okay, Dan Snyder. Let's get some donations.
Okay, let's all pitch in $1 billion.
Let's get a GoFundMe.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, the D.B.A.B Podcast is putting a GoFundMe together so we can all get together and buy the Commanders, right? We're gonna start each of us. We're gonna chip in with $1, and you guys pay the rest of it.
Hey, we'll bring the laughs. You bring the stacks.
We
Yeah,
can turn it into the Green Bay Packers where it's like publicly owned.
Yeah. Here's the
absolutely.
question: you change the name from Commanders?
Yes, I'm changing the name if I own them.
I go back to the
football
Redskins.
team.
Fuck
Are you?
Going back to the Redskins.
Back to the
I
Redskins.
was-
Fuck them.
I was gonna say I like the Washington football team better than the freaking
Yes.
Yeah.
Commanders.
I feel like
name.
there's a better name they could have chosen out there. Like
The
even if you don't
Washington
wanna go back-
Monuments. Like, come on now.
I'm a fan of the Red Tails myself.
The Red
Oh,
Tails
I
would've
saw
been
that.
good.
That's a good
That
one.
was a proposal, right?
Yes.
I did see that.
Yeah, that
Red
was not a bad
Tails.
one. You're still
The Red
keeping
Tails
the red in there.
I'm a commander.
I like the Washington.
That's almost as
Man.
bad as being a Ram.
Or a Guardian.
I was gonna say the Guardians is terrible too.
Guardians is
He's
awful.
You put him in timeout.
Josh has the power.
Hey, so
Yeah,
now
I don't know.
now you-
I don't know what Adam is saying. Hey, Adam, when was the
Wait.
last time
The
the
whammies.
Cowboys won a Super Bowl?
Oh, easy. You're going
Oh,
to
here we go.
Let's go. Let's go. Lights, camera, action. Let's go.
How did the Rams do this year?
They suck.
Oh,
Next topic.
yeah, cute.
No.
What happened to your
All of
whole
them.
team?
They got injured.
They
No,
quit.
they suck.
They said,
I know.
"See ya." McVay was so distraught he's going to never coach football. again.
McVay had such a bad season, he was ready to quit. What'd y'all do to that man?
No, it's just a bad year. But, man, they got more playoff wins in one season than y'all have in the last 15 years combined. So.
That's all right, man.
But one was given to him because of blatant pass interference.
I agree, Jack. We've talked about it. It was blatant, but not called.
Screw it. So
Anyway,
and Drew Brees after winning another one.
so we're not ganging up on me because my team has recently won a Super Bowl more. Anyways, enough of that. Knock it off. Anyways, all right. So
Go Williams. I love when Angelo State plays on Sundays. I just know.
all right, just me and you, Cobbs. I've muted them all, so we can't hear their stupid
like
ass. Yeah, they're gonna stay muted and for the end of the show. We'll see if they can be more adult-like here. I'll bring them back.
They have no clue they're muted either. That's the best part.
No,
I
it
think you can
tells
still
us.
hear.
It tells
Go
us.
Williams.
Y'all are all talking like
All right, enough. I'm sure
No,
they
it
get
tells us it muted it at the top.
Yeah, and then give me more shit. All right, so that's great. Lights, camera, action. I think we kind of got it all fired up there at the end. Of course, it had to come at my
The
my,
Wimbies.
at myself, whatever. But as we get into our final,
Y'all may
act
as well
here,
be the sheep.
okay. As we get into our final,
Y'all are
act
only
here,
getting
where-
rammed.
As we get here into our final act, we're going to be wrapping this shit up with our usual. We got stat of the week, and then we got motivational quote of the week. So I will begin here. You guys can, you know what, right? But I'm going to go first here with our final act here. With my stat, which is kind of odd. This goes to, I'm sure Jack and Adams will appreciate it because they're big LeBron fans, but LeBron has averaged 27.23 points per game during his career, and he broke the record on February 2nd of 2023. And when you look at it, it's 2723. So the universe doing its thing there, which is awesome to see. And then the last one, the last stat that I have is in
Goat
honor of the
James.
Super Bowl this weekend on Sunday, is that in each of the last 8 Super Bowls, the team that has won the opening coin toss has lost the game. So think about that when we're watching the game on Sunday, boys. Right? Anybody else got any stats that have come across?
It's scripted, man. They already know.
Hey,
Okay.
not
Yeah.
a stat, but did y'all see Kareem's face when LeBron hit that 3? Like early in the game, his face
Nah.
went just the camera like just panned to it, and he just close on his face, and it was just straight face, just like he knew it was about to happen. Yeah,
he
but so he knew it was about to happen.
Yes, sir. He knew.
He knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, he did. All right. Anybody else got any stats that they've come across this week?
The stat is LeBron over Jordan. That's
Okay.
the stat.
Well, that can be our debate topic next week. 'Cause I
It's
know
not
y'all
a
are
debate.
It's going to be a long debate, boys. It's going to get
Yeah, it'll
heated.
be on a long debate. But hey, that's what we do this for. I think it's gonna be a good one though.
Well, we got to debate
Anybody-
about basketball. Clete, can we make our own podcast and start debating
Yeah.
about basketball?
We can talk about baseball too.
I'm good with
Where
that.
all the Super Bowl
because
57 players come
MJ
from,
played
where's the
baseball.
most?
Oh, I
Texas.
saw that.
MJ
Texas.
played baseball. Did LBJ?
Texas,
No, he
Florida.
didn't.
That's fine.
See,
All right.
Well, they
Yeah,
well, talking about-
Jordan had a batting average of probably like .057.
Okay, he still hit a triple at Wrigley.
Oh,
You can go up to bat 10 times and hit it one time, and you're told to be good baseball players. Don't start with us with baseball bull.
Yeah,
100 batting average. That's terrible.
that is terrible batting average.
That's like half my team.
This man played baseball makes him the GOAT. We're talking about one sport.
Talking about
All right.
Hey, so
Um,
on this, time out before you say
Buster.
anything. Before you
See,
say, so
time out.
202.
These Jordan fans are trying so hard to find a reason to not call LeBron the GOAT that they're bringing
I'm
baseball into this.
yeah.
Whoa, I never
Now,
said I
I'm
was a
not.
Jordan fan.
I'm just rounding up
No.
the Garcia clan. That's all I'm doing.
Don't do
No,
it.
I got.
Don't do
Hey,
it.
by the way,
Don't do it.
202 batting average Jordan had.
Yeah, he was
That's
terrible.
a garbage. That's
He was not
garbage.
great. He was
That's
terrible.
In
awful.
like AAA farm leagues at that.
He wouldn't
He
even
ain't
make
even hitting on. He ain't even hitting on high school kids.
Yes. Anyway,
Yeah,
so I got one thing to add to this little our mini LeBron versus MJ thing, which I don't like comparing them, whatever. But I was looking at it early this morning because
You
it
wanna bring
clicked
it
into
up?
mind. Well, no, I'm not trying to debate them. It just was something that came into my mind that was interesting because I'm big into stats or whatnot. So I wanted to look to see where MJ fell on the all-time scoring list, right? And I think he was at number 5. And of course, we all know LeBron's number 1. But when I look to see, LeBron has played 338 more games than MJ in his career, and we know, obviously he took time off and he was away, and he started at a younger age compared to MJ. And I'm not making excuses or whatnot, but I went and did the math just because I was curious, right? So if MJ had played those 338 games and he averaged 30 points a game, which it was his career average was 38 points. I mean, excuse me, 30
38 points a game?
No, excuse me. I'm sorry. 30 points a game was his career average. Like
Even when
all
he
the
played for
games
the Wizards.
like all the games he played in the NBA, and
Ain't
his
no way
total
he'd have done
points,
that
it was
at
30
year.
points. No, I'm
But
just
okay.
saying. I'm just going
We'll
by
allow
numbers.
it. We'll allow it for the argument.
Thank you. I'm just going based on numbers, because everything obviously changes real life. That if he would have played those 338 games and scored 30 points a game, he would be 10,000 points ahead of LeBron right now.
And LeBron still got at least 4 more years, so he still would have broke it. So what difference
I'm
would it
not.
have made?
I'm not fighting. I'm just saying. I was in my own mind. I was just curious when I was looking at it this morning, right? And I wanted to see if I'd get Jack fired up a little bit, but not yet.
No, yeah. Next week, I bet.
Yeah, next week.
All
right.
Chili shirt.
So without
I'm just at a loss for words. These people are telling me that Jordan at the same age as LeBron been scoring the same point average LeBron scoring right now. That's what you're telling me.
No, I
and
said
history repeats itself that we saw Jordan at the same age and the man was getting benched.
Hypothetically,
and we're going to end it at that.
What if MJ would have started
mileage on the
LeBron did? Anyways, there's our stats of the week. There's our continuing of our lights, camera, action segment as well. And then I'm going to leave us with this.
Eat them Cheetos, boy.
Thank you. I'm going to leave out this with the D.B.A.B Podcast with the motivational quote of the week. I saw it. There's an account I follow on Twitter. I saw this over the weekend, and the quote goes like this. It says, "Without failure, success has no value." And I told my team that the other day, and I explained it to them, and I think they really took it in and were fired up. Because if you don't know, basically, if you don't put in the work, right, and you don't have your failures to make you better, then when you are successful, there's a different feeling. Like when you put in a lot of work to, like when Cobbs puts in a lot of work to his baseball program and they win, it's more rewarding than if Cobb did nothing and y'all win, right? Same with Jack and Clete with the powerlifting. Like if they just showed up and the kids did whatever and were successful, it doesn't have as much value. But when they're in there busting their ass and getting those kids to squat over 400 or 500 pounds and bench over 225, and those kids hit it or succeeded, that success, it feels more. You feel it more in your heart. And the same for me in my sports. And then, it even could apply to Adam, right, in his role, of working really hard in his job and working up the ladder instead of just being somebody who just sits behind a desk and works his way up. There's no hard work is, it just makes success taste that much sweeter. But without further ado, that is the end of our first official podcast, the D.B.A.B Podcast with the boys. Fellas, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for chiming in all the great takes. All the listeners, thanks for tuning in. Remember, we're on Twitter, at the DBAB_podcast. We're on YouTube, DBAB Podcast. And also, anywhere you find your podcast is where you can listen to the boys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I'm muted.
Peace and love, baby.